activity-based management? Activity-based management is a systematic, integrated approach that describes management decisions that use activity-based costing information to satisfy customers and improve profitability. It focuses on the management of activities as the road to improving the value received by the customers and the profit received by providing the value that includes cost driver analysis, activity analysis, and performance analysis, which drawing on activity-based costing as major sources of data. By using activity-based costing data, activity-based management focus how to redirect and improve the use of resources to increase the value created of customer and other stakeholders. Next, what is activity-based costing? Activity-based costing is defined as methodology that measures the cost, performance of activities, resources, and cost object specifically when resources assigned to the activities and the activities are assigned to the cost object based on the consumption. It also recognized as a causal relationship between cost drivers to activity so that costs can be more precisely allocated to products, service, or customer segment. So, in the simple term, activity-based costing is used to answer the question, what do things cost? While activity-based management using a process view is concerned with the factor cost occurs. There are two types of activity-based management, consists of operating activity-based management and strategic activity-based management. Operating activity-based management relates to make the organization more efficient by reducing costs of the activities and eliminating non-value-added activities. It is about doing things right, plus it's allowed to identify the efficiency of the activities performance. For example, cost analyzed by activities can make the company easier to distinguish the activities that do not add value. Can also be used with performance improvement such as total quality management and business process re-engineering. Thus, it helps total quality management to reduce the cost of non-conformance, while help business process re-engineering to redesign business processes to increase effectiveness and for better customer satisfaction. Next, we will discuss about strategic activity-based management. It's involved in deciding which product to make and which customer to sell to, based on the more accurate analysis of product and customer profitability that activity-based costing allows. It is about doing right thing. For your information, the decision based on the profitability information calculated by activity-based costing method, plus the information in historical information of profitability coupled with future trends, competitions, and others can help organization to take the decisions. So, the ideal way of performance for an organization is to sell the best of their products to the best customer. For example, the company need to stop supplying loss-making customer by increasing prices above the competitors so that they will switch to other providers while offering big discount to profitability customers. Now, we will share with you guys the history of activity-based management. Activity-based management was first developed in 1980s, and why activity-based management be developed? First, seek to highlight the area where a business losing money so that those activity can be eliminated or improved to increase profitability. It is also being used to analyze the cost of employees, equipment, facilities, overhead, and other factors in business to determine and allocate activity costs. There are three primary objectives of activity-based management, which are: first, identify and enhance value-added activities. What is value-added activities? It is an activities that add value to the product or service for the viewpoint of customer. Second, identify and reduce non-value-added activities. For your information, non-value-added activities is contrast with value-added activities. The example of non-value-added activities are unnecessary movement of goods, rework due to defect found in products, and process steps which are not needed. The last objective is to redesign processes to improve efficiency and profitability.
Okay, next, why activity-based management is popularly adopted by corporation. The first reason is for developing corporate strategy. Using this method, the company can develop the new strategy about their product, long-term plan, and the competitive advantage by focusing on management of the activities. Some of the company that have competitive advantage can provide the product with low-cost product or changing the activities to reduce the cost of the product. The company can cut the cost by closing the operation so that the cost of the product will be reduced. However, this method, activity-based management, can be cutting the cost and maintaining the quality and the quantity of the product. The second reason is to make activity analysis. The company can make activity analysis by classifying each activity as value-added or non-value-added. The value-added activity is an activity that can add value to the product or services from the viewpoint of customer, while the non-value-added activity is an activity that does not add value to the product or service from the viewpoint of customer. The value-added activity is a linked set of value creating from the material sources to the good or services produced. So this is where the activity analysis is ongoing process, which is activity are constantly being improved and eliminated. Non-value-added activity is not essential process and the cost that can be eliminated without reduce the quality product. The third reason is to reduce customer response time. The company can reduce the customer response time by identifying the activities and they use the most resources in value and time. This is because activity-based management will be minimizing or eliminating the non-value added activity. When the company minimize or eliminate the non-value added activity, the cost will be declined and the customer will appreciate a quick response time to their order.
Hi, my name is Siti Khadra and I'm going to talk about why activity-based management technique is useful in one's organization. So, activity-based management, ABM for short, provides more accurate and precise product costs. ABM provide more accurate product cost because it uses activity-based costing. I'm sure you guys are familiar with what is activity-based costing, right? ABC for short. So in ABC, all the costs, including indirect costs, will be traced and categorized on each activities by using a cost driver related to the cost. So it increases the overhead and cost drivers understandings for users, such as managers. So from this information, ABM will come up or provide with the value-added and non-value-added activities that were involved in producing the company's output. Therefore, ABM provides more accurate costs as it allows managers to enhance and improve the value-added activities and eliminate or reduce the non-value-added activities. And eventually, it leads to more accurate pricing decisions. Now, activity-based management helps managers in making a better decision because the information provided by the ABM system or technique is more useful and reliable. With a better understanding of cost drivers and the costs involved in the activities, it makes non-value added activity more visible and allows manager to eliminate them. So for instance, managers need to decide whether some employees need to be laid off or transferred to another department in regards to reduce the non-value added activity. Last but not least is customer satisfaction. So activity-based management improves the quality, flow and productivity of a product since it eliminates unnecessary costs or activity and at the same time enhances the value-added activity. So from this process, it will eliminate the unnecessary activity that will affect customer satisfaction. So for example, by taking COVID-19 outbreaks prevention measures, going to physical store to purchase product might no longer be relevant to customers. Thus, it will be eliminated and it will be replaced by ordering online. Therefore, it will save customer time, protect customer from possibility of being infected by the virus, and help in lowering the COVID spread. And from these reasons, show that ABM method increases customer satisfaction. However, there are some limitations of ABM technique. Reports using ABM's technique are suitable for internal users only, and it is not suitable for external users. This is because ABM system has limitations since it does not conform to generally accepted accounting principles, GAAP. So stakeholders might not be able to understand the reports on ABM technique. Therefore, ABM technique is only suitable for internal users. Okay, next is resistance to change. The real value and power of ABM comes from the knowledge and information that leads to better decisions and the leverage it provides to measure improvement. It is crucial for managers to have ABM knowledge in order for them to apply it in decision making that affects the organization performance and reputation. So to understand this new technique can be burdensome for the employees, and the resistance to change should be expected, since it is not unusual for them to receive it with skepticism. Activity-based management is complex and expensive. So the cost implementing ABM is very high. Only a few organizations have been successfully implemented this ABM. For small businesses or businesses with narrow product ranges, the benefits implementing ABM may not justify the costs. Developing product survey, activity-based costing tables, interviews, etc. require many hours of consulting. In addition, organization structure change of job flows also creates the necessity of further change that will incur more costs. Activity-based management does not decrease the costs immediately. Rather, it helps an organization to understand the cost better, to know what to correct. So the process of ABM does consume resources. It consumes resources, and the manpower costs can be significant. Now let us try to understand ABM better by looking at the steps taken to implement the technique. So the first step is to identify activities the company performs. So each organization have to perform 1,000 different activities to complete the product, kan? So the organization will need to identify only the essential or significant activity of the company. For example, activity that spends most of the time in producing a product. So in addition, the organization must use activity-based costing method and apportion all indirect costs to each activity. Also, it is necessary for the organization to apportion the cost of each activity using cost driver information. Next step is to classify those activities either value-added activity or non-value-added activity. So value-added activity is an activity or an action taken that increases the benefit of a product or service to a customer. For example, baking is value-added activity for a bakery manufacturing company. Meanwhile, non-value-added is an action taken that does not increase the worth of what is delivered to customer. Examples of non-value-added activity include waiting or idle time, over-processing, defects, and more. A company can greatly increase its profitability by recognizing which activities increase value and which do not, and stripping away the non-value-added activity. The last step is to improve opportunities which are by enhancing the value added and eliminating the non-value added activities that has been identified in the previous step. So for example, to reduce non-value added activity such as waiting time of raw materials from supplier, the company can find another supplier that provides faster process and delivery in supplying the raw materials. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Wanar Salmira. So now let's move on to the company which apply this activity-based management technique in their corporation. Okay, in order for the company to apply this activity-based management, the company must have applied activity-based costing in their production process or any process that are suitable to apply. We have selected Coca-Cola in this case to show how activity-based management is applied on their production process. So now let's see the history of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is an American corporation founded by Asa Grace Candler in 1892 and headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. The company today engages primarily in the manufacture and sale of syrup and concentrate on their products. Coca-Cola Malaysia offers more than 40 different beverages options across over 10 different brands. These include sparkling drinks, zero-calorie sparkling beverages, waters, teas, juice drink, and sport drinks. Coca-Cola determines the price of its product based on the number of activities undertaken in the process of manufacturing such products. They also budget its costs based on the number of activities involved by using activity-based costing method. From this method, they had applied activity-based management to cut off or reduce the non-value-added costs. Okay, so now let's recap a bit. As mentioned earlier by Khadra, there are 3 steps of ABM that company can apply to their process. The first step is identifying activities or steps required to complete the final product. Since we choose Coca-Cola, we have identified their production activities. Okay, the first activity is ingredients delivery. This is where the company receives ingredients from their supplier to make the products. The ingredients include sweetener, secret formula, water, and other materials. These ingredients then are washed and rinsed to ensure their products are always clean and have a good quality. Once all the ingredients are mixed and blended and the bottle has been sanitized, they will move to filling activity. After filled, bottles are then capped. They use different caps for different bottles. Then a special machine dispenses labels from large rollers, cuts them and places on the bottle. The bottle now is ready for coding. Each one of the cooked beverages is marked with a special code which identifies specific info about it. For inspection activities, Coca-Cola inspects bottles at many points during process, which is when the bottles are washed and sanitized, after filling and after packaging. Each plant sample bottle also are analyzed to ensure the quality is up to the standard. After that, the finished products are being packed and moved to the warehouse. Lastly, the beverages are distributed to agents and customers for delivery. The second step is to identify which activities are value-added and non-value-added. In this case, we choose 4 sample activities to show the value-added and non-value-added. First is bottling activity. Since Coca-Cola produces their own bottles using machine, the cost driver for this activity is machine hours. These activities are considered as value-added as it will bring benefit to the customers. Then, packaging activity. The cost driver is number of bottles as Coca-Cola pack their product based on the quantity. This activity also considered as value-added as this activity is essential to the customer. Next, inspection activity. The cost driver is inspection hours. It is considered as non-value activity as it did not give any benefit to the customer. Lastly, warehousing activity, where the cost driver is number of goods stored. It is also considered as non-value activity. The third step is decision making on how to improve these activities. The first activity is bottling, which is a value-added activity. This activity can be improved by increasing the mold to produce many bottles in one time. So, this will increase the production units. Next is packaging. Packaging is a value-added activity. This activity also can be improved. Coca-Cola can use cheaper materials for packaging and sell in a larger quantity to increase the profit margin. And the third one, inspection, which is a non-value-added activity. This activity could not bring any benefit to the customer. It can be reduced or eliminated since it is a non-value activity. Coca-Cola can use a high-technology machine to avoid any defect on the product to replace this inspection activity. Then they also can use a good quality ingredients just to make sure their product have a high quality. And the last one is warehousing. Warehousing also is a non-value added activity. This activity could not benefit to the customer too. If Coca-Cola keep their stock for too long, the customer may view the older inventory as inferior and the product may be expired. Thus, this warehousing can be reduced. And Coca-Cola just need to increase their sales unit of finished goods so that they do not have to use a larger space for storage, which can incur more costs. There are several benefits Coca-Cola can gain after applying this ABM. Okay, the first one is reduce overall costs and increase in revenue. Since all the non-value-added activity are being reduced and eliminated, then the cost will be reduced. The second one is increased profit margin. Coca-Cola gain this profit margin from selling high quantity of products that manufacture at a lower cost. And the third one is increased shareholder satisfaction. Coca-Cola has satisfied the shareholder by having a good financial performance, as they will gain a high dividend. And the last one is increased customer value. This is because Coca-Cola focus on the value-added activity which can satisfy the customer's need.
Hi, I'm Alia Nabila. I will talk about recommendation to improve activity-based management. The first one is communication. Communication can be defined as receiving or sending information, and it is very important skill for an organization to ensure the business runs smoothly and efficiently. For the company that new in using activity-based management technique, it is highly recommended for the company to establish a strong communication program. And management should regularly involve in reviewing and understanding the predict result of the system with operational manager. And it is very important to use only one agreed language in the organization to minimize miscommunication. For example, if the company doesn't have any specific language, it will lead to miscommunication because some of them will speak in Mandarin and some of the staff will use any other language such as Tamil. This is due to diversity of race, and it is really recommended for the company to use only one specific language such as English. The second one is choose suitable project and scope. For the company that is new for this technique, they have to choose the project and scope wisely because this technique will become part of the organization operational culture. They also can try on small project for their first attempt of using this activity-based management technique and obtain a quick wins. This also will become a good training and development platform for all the staff attempt in a big scope. It will become a big load to all the staff since it will incur a big changes in the organization. So, it is really important for the company to choose a suitable project and scope in order to apply this activity-based management technique. The third one is annotation. Human being and habit are two things that cannot be separate, so it is very important to give a good reason for any changes to all the staff that involved in the implementation of activity-based management technique. This is because certain staff that involved in day-to-day and operational activities already feel comfort by doing the same thing every day, and this might be the constraint for the new technique such as activity-based costing to be implemented, since the staff represent the real heart of the organization. Thus, the management team should convince and explain to them specifically about this technique and importance of their role in order to achieve the organization goal.